All right, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about supplements because women in their 40s and 50s are spending so much money, hundreds, if not thousands, on pills, powders, hormone blends, adrenal formulas, metabolism boosters, and honestly, many of them don't need half of what they're taking, or they're taking the wrong things for their body or what their body actually needs. So today I'm going to walk you through what is actually worth buying, what might help depending on your situation, and what is often a complete waste of money. If we haven't met yet, I'm Dariella. I'm a registered dietitian and a functional medicine practitioner, and I help women in their 40s and 50s support their metabolism in a way that is realistic and science-based. Now, before we jump in, here's something important that I want you to know. Supplements are not the foundation. They can support your body, but they cannot fix poor sleep, or high stress, or low protein intake, or unstable blood sugar. If those basics are not in place, no pill is going to solve your problems. But when your foundation is solid, those supplements can absolutely help. Okay, let's dive into what is actually worth it. Now, my first and favorite supplement is magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most helpful minerals for midlife women, and it's needed for over 300 reactions in your body. Magnesium can help with your sleep, your stress in your nervous system, muscle tension, constipation, and blood sugar balance. Now, one thing to note is that stress burns up magnesium. Poor sleep burns up magnesium. High insulin burns up magnesium. And that magnesium deficiency can look like anxiety, muscle tension, headaches, constipation, waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Then we need to talk about type. There's probably over a dozen types of magnesium, so knowing which one to take is important. Magnesium glycinate is my favorite for sleep and for stress. It really calms the nervous system, so I like to take it at night before I go to bed. Now, magnesium citrate, on the other hand, can really help with constipation. So I give that one regularly to my clients who struggle with their bowel movements. Magnesium oxide is usually the one I recommend avoiding. It's just not absorbed very well, and so I usually just skip it. It's not worth spending money on. Most women need about 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium in the evening, but it really just depends on your body and what your stress levels look like. Number 2, creatine. Creatine is not just for men and bodybuilders. It actually helps women to also maintain their muscle, get stronger, support their blood sugar, and it also plays an amazing role on our brain, for brain energy metabolism and our cognition. It also plays a role in bone strength. So after 40, women naturally lose muscle more quickly, and muscle helps your body balance blood sugar better. So when you have less muscle, you have a slower metabolism, higher blood sugar, and more belly fat storage. Creatine can help your muscles work better and stay stronger, meaning they'll help you keep a faster metabolism. Now, most women do pretty well with about 3 to 5 grams daily. You don't need to cycle it. You don't need to load it. Okay, just keep it really simple. Now, number 3 are omega-3s. Omega-3s are one of my favorites and have been for over 20 years. Fish oil can really help, but you have to be taking enough of it. Now, omega-3s support inflammation balance or reducing the inflammation in your body. They can help with your mood. They've been shown in research to help with depression, our brain health, our heart health, blood sugar, so many things. Many women are just taking too little to see a difference. So most midlife women need at least 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined DHA and EPA daily. And that can be coming from your food sources as well. This doesn't all have to be from a supplement, but make sure that you're getting a high quality fish oil if you're going to take one. Fish oil goes rancid very easily and very quickly. Once it's rancid, it becomes inflammatory, and then that literally defeats the whole point of taking fish oil. So make sure you're getting a very high quality brand. Next up, protein powders. Now, protein powders, I know they're not really a supplement, kind of, but they just help women fill in those protein gaps. So if you feel like you're eating enough protein, please don't feel like you have to add a powder by any means. But for many of us, as we age, our muscles really need a stronger signal to grow and stay strong. So low amounts of protein just don't cut it anymore. We need to get sufficient protein and we need to get the right sources of protein. So that signal that your muscle needs comes from protein, especially an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the on switch for muscle building. So let's talk about some different types of protein powders and how they compare. Now, whey protein, like whey isolate, is a complete protein and it has all the amino acids that your body needs. It's also very high in leucine, which makes it great for muscle building and muscle support. So if you tolerate dairy, I highly recommend using whey isolate as one of the most effective options. Then there's collagen. I love collagen for joint health and tendons and all kinds of things, but it is not a complete protein. It is missing some amino acids and it's very low in leucine. So it doesn't build muscle that well on its own. You would have to pair it with another complete protein to get more benefit out of it. But collagen is known for helping with joints and tendons, your skin, your gut health, your gut integrity. So I still really love collagen and include it in my daily routine. You just have to make sure you're pairing it with other proteins at that meal as well. And then last but not least, the plant-based proteins. Plant-based proteins can work, they just take a little bit more planning. Some plants don't have enough of certain amino acids, so using a blend, like something that has both pea and rice, is going to be better than just a single source. Plant proteins tend to have way less leucine than whey, and you have to get usually about closer to 30 grams of a plant-based protein to get the same muscle building effect. Okay, let's move on to supplements that might help, but really just depends on the person. The first one is adaptogens. Adaptogens are herbs that are meant to help your body handle stress better. The idea is that they can help your body adapt to stress, whether that stress is physical, mental, emotional. Now, one of the most popular adaptogens right now is ashwagandha. I recommend it quite often. I know a lot of people that are taking ashwagandha, and it works by affecting your stress system, the part of your brain and your adrenal glands that control cortisol, which is your body's main stress hormone. If your cortisol is running high, meaning you feel wired, you feel anxious, overwhelmed, ashwagandha can sometimes help calm that response. Some studies show it can even lower cortisol levels and improve how stressed people feel. So it's wonderful for a lot of people. But here's the important thing to note. Not all midlife women have high cortisol. Some women are actually completely burned out and are on the other end of the spectrum. They've been high stress for so many years that now they're exhausted and they have a low cortisol level. So in that case, taking something that could lower your cortisol even more and make you feel worse. Your fatigue is going to get worse, your brain fog is going to get worse. Also, ashwagandha can affect thyroid hormones in some people. So if you're already taking a thyroid medication, I don't recommend ashwagandha. So it's not that adaptogens are bad, they're just not a one size fits all. They really just depend on the person. The next one that's a maybe is probiotics. Now, not all bloated women need a probiotic. I feel like anytime a woman goes to their doctor with digestive complaints, the first thing they want to tell them is just take a probiotic. But bloating can come for so many reasons. You could be bloated from constipation, from having low stomach acid, stress, food sensitivities, bacterial overgrowth. If someone has a bacterial overgrowth in their small intestine, probiotics can actually make your bloating worse. So if you take a probiotic and you think if you're feeling worse and not better, please stop taking it. Now, certain strains also help with specific things. But when you're just taking a random high-dose probiotic, you're just guessing what you need, and that's usually not very effective or going to make much of a difference. Okay, let's move on to what is a waste of money. Number one, fat burners. Fat burners work by stimulating your body. They often just contain caffeine or green tea extract and other stimulants. So what happens is that they can raise your cortisol. They can start disrupting your sleep. They can even increase your anxiety. None of us need that right now. And they do nothing to fix your insulin resistance or your muscle loss, which is the major drivers of menopause belly fat. So short bursts of stimulation are not the same as real metabolic repair. The second one I do not like are genetic hormone balance blends. You've probably seen these. I'm not going to name them, but they use several different herbs in a mixture all in one capsule, and they promise hormone balance. Some of these herbs are really helpful in specific situations, especially on their own. But in midlife, our hormone changes are so complex that one blend of a bunch of random herbs is not going to fix the real issue here. And many of these products do not include levels or doses that are high enough to actually even make a difference. So more herbs does not mean better results. And last, random adrenal formulas. A lot of women feel tired in midlife. They are told that maybe they have adrenal fatigue. So we are the perfect target market for adrenal supplements. But your midlife fatigue can come from so many different things. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you're low in iron. Maybe you're low in B12. You're having blood sugar swings. Your thyroid is changing. You have chronic stress. Maybe you're just not eating enough. So without knowing the root cause, you could be taking this adrenal supplement that's really not helpful if, you're not fixing the root cause of it. Okay? So big takeaway here is that the supplements are just tools. If they match your body's needs, they can actually be really helpful. But if you're just guessing, you're going to have a big list of expensive supplements that don't actually work. So support your foundation. Don't just stack on a bunch of supplements. Now, that's why I created the Midlife Metabolism Collaborative, because midlife health isn't about a giant supplement stack. It's about understanding how food and hormones and stress and digestion and all these things all work together. Inside the collaborative, we build foundation first. Then we use supplements strategically when they make sense. So that way you're not guessing, you're not wasting your money, and you're not trying to figure it out all on your own. So if you want a clear step-by-step plan that works for midlife, you can join us by using the link down below. So just remember, more pills doesn't mean better hormones. Smart support is always going to beat overwhelm. I will see you in the next video.